Thanks for sticking with us. North Central SID Clark Teuscher here with us now. Clark, big week for track and field, going to nationals in the Columbus area in Ohio. We start with some awards, though. Coach and an athlete from the men's team taking home each their second Coach of the Year and Player of the Year regional awards in the school year.
Yeah, Frank Grammaroso was named the Midwest Region's Coach of the Year for the outdoor season. Michael Spain was named the Regional Track Athlete of the Year, both certainly well-deserved honors. Mike leads the nation in the 5K and the 10K, and Coach Grammaroso is trying to close out a second national championship in his first year in the head job.
And Mike, a guy trying to pull off a rare double, repeating in the 5K, obviously that top time in the 10K. How big is it for him that not only did he get those times early in the outdoor season, so kind of able to train hard and not really worrying about, putting up another low time later in the season, but also he's got a couple teammates in the race as well that are going to be able to help him out?
Well, mentally, I think it's a great thing for him to have been able to, understand that he's definitely in the Nationals, so he's preparing the rest of the season with that event in mind. It's definitely going to help him to have his teammates in there, and they train together every day so they can work together and they know which parts of the race that each of them are strong in and can step up and take some of the load in terms of pacing. So I think for the three of them, certainly benefits that they can play off each other, and I think regardless of whether there's a first place finish in it or not, there's three guys that'll do a lot better in that group than they would have on their own.
And with the North Central men, it seems to be all about the team points and another big scoring opportunity, the pole vault. The four usual suspects going back, the same four that were at indoors, looking to score some big points.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it played out last year's outdoor championships. All four guys that competed wound up finishing in the top 8 and really put the stamp on the meet for the rest of the weekend. Mm-hmm. Josh Winder is seated second in the event with a 17-foot clearance. Peter Garrity finished second in the event indoors. Hasn't quite touched what he did indoors during the outdoor season. Then you got John Wood, who's preparing for his 6th national championship appearance, and Tom Stacy, who had to get a qualifying mark at the Augustana Invitational last weekend to get in. Of course, last year we had a young man named Steven Stack who qualified in the very last week and wound up becoming an All-American as well. So certainly the potential is there for some big points. So they'll be definitely looking to those guys to set the table and get them into Saturday highly in the standings.
And as we look forward, look to the track, the 400 meters, a very important distance for the Cardinals. Individually, Dan Benton, John Howard competing after both bringing home All-Americas and indoors, and then the 4x400 meters, hoping to get it right here after struggling at last year's outdoors and getting DQ'd at this year's indoors. They're going in as the top dogs.
Very true. Dan has been a national runner-up twice now indoors. Didn't get to compete outdoors. He was hurt last year. So very hungry to get in and show what he can do on the outdoor track. John Howard's a guy who really came up big this year as a senior in the 400, had been primarily a 400-meter hurdle guy outdoors, and has kind of stepped away from that event a little bit, and has certainly found some individual success in the 400. The relay team has become kind of snake-bitten the last couple national championships, a false start in last year's outdoor meet, then a DQ after they had thought they had won this past year in the indoors. So they enter with, as you said, the fastest time in the nation, but still with a whole lot to prove coming into the outdoor championships.
Definitely, and the women also sending a contingent, but first they're getting their own regional award as well. Mahesh Narayanan taking home Midwest Assistant of the outdoor season. Yeah,
Mahesh, his distance runners really had a great season. They've been really performing well all season long, from cross country through to the outdoor season here over the past several months. So certainly a well-deserved honor on his part. Quite a large contingent for the women. It's the largest they've had in quite some time. Not all of them are seated that highly, but as we've seen in past championships, those seedings don't always mean a whole lot in certain events, particularly the distance events where we have several individuals qualified.
Yeah, and you talk about his distance runners, Amanda Lesh hoping to make it a trio of All-America honors after cross and indoor this season, along with the distance med relay. Chris Dakota, somebody we haven't talked about too much in the 800, and Alicia Zimmerman in the steeplechase.
Yeah, Krista is one of those middle distance type athletes who also runs cross country and competes in the high jump, interestingly enough. Really came through and came into her own in the 800 this year, as well as part of that relay. Alicia had to run a pretty significant personal best in our last home meet to qualify for the championship. She was the last one to get in, so she'll be hoping to take advantage of that and move up the ladder in the steeplechase as well.
And we stick with the track. The intermediate sprint's a strong point for that core as well. Kayla Murphy in the 200, then the 400, the event the Cardinals seem to own on both sides. Sheila Walsh, Lauren Brightmore in the 4, and their relay looking good as I believe in the top 5 as we go into nationals.
Yeah, they got an automatic qualifier the last weekend. There was a concern about that heading into the weekend because there was another meet at UW La Crosse where about 5 teams had gotten automatic qualifying marks. So the pressure was on a little bit, and they stepped up and responded. Sheila is a big part of that relay, and then was not able to get into the finals in the 400 indoors. So certainly a chance to make up for some lost time there. Lauren Brightmore is a veteran of multiple national championships, is coming back for one last go-around on the track there. So certainly, some potential for some great things in those events.
And tennis and track, really the only thing still going on right now, but we do have a little baseball to wrap up. CCIW and regional selections come out, 6 Cardinals making the CCIW team, and Michael Corrigan winning regional honors again. He's really finishes a storied career as a Cardinal. Yeah,
Mike was a second-team All-Region selection for the 3rd straight year. He's only the 2nd player that North Central's had to receive that award 3 times in a row since they started giving those awards out in 1995. Joe Turek and Matt Abraham, first-team all-conference selections. Joe's for the 2nd straight year at a different position this time. And then you got a quartet of guys in the 2nd team, Nate Aronson, Dan Scott, Matt Burke, Michael Corrigan, all seniors who were everyday players and really made things happen the last couple of years. So certainly good to see them cap off their careers with those kind of awards.
Well, Clark, we appreciate you coming by, and plenty of track on deck this weekend. I know we're going to be there. Well, pretty excited.
We'll see how it turns out.
Well, that's all for this edition of the Cardinal Report. We hope you can join us next week when we recap all the track nationals action. I'm Alex Simmons. We hope to see you then.